Welcome to this episode of Finding the Health in You. I'm your host, TDT, and we're going to talk about the combination of things that we've been talking about. If you're joining me through Facebook, do me a favor, come on in to the YouTube channel. That's Boxing Fans Talk TV. And come on in there and click the live icon button. And we're going to talk about finding the health in you. We just had Thanksgiving pass, and hopefully we could talk about that as well. So you guys just come on in, kick off your shoes and relax, and let's turn to. Welcome back to this episode of Finding the Health in You. As I said before, I'm TDT. Y'all can refer to me as Miss T. I do this show through my Boxing Fans Talk TV. So if you're in Facebook, shout out to all of y'all. Come over to your YouTube and click Boxing Fans Talk TV. That's how you look me up. See the emblem? And then hit the live icon button. I'm actually going to open up the phone lines because it's tricky. I'm gonna have to get a new device because it's weird. I'll be here all day trying to explain it. Like I can use some of the features in my device on a certain browser. But then the other browser, I can't include it in or I can't use it. And so today, it's more a general show, so I'm only using one type of thing. If that don't make sense to most of y'all probably, but like I'm on Firefox right now, but Firefox won't allow my device to do all that it can do. So I have to use Chrome for the device, but it's not comparable to Firefox, So then I just start having issues. So I just open up the phone lines and see all that blinking and stuff. I don't know what that is. Phone lines are open. And let me just test it. If y'all can hear that, then the phone lines are open. So, welcome. We are coming to you right after Thanksgiving. Now, in my previous shows, we talked about a lot. As y'all saw the thumbnail, I said this is like a combination show. I'm going to speak to you regular, off the cuff. I'm going to talk to a lot of you guys about things that y'all emailed me. I get questions. I get people who want to go the hardcore route. And I've been in touch with you back and forth. I have a couple of you who has expressed an interest to go that route. And, I always ask you for your testimonies, but I leave that up to you. I always leave it up to you to tell me how you feel, what happened, in your testimony. But I would love to tell your story, but it's your story to tell. So, I'm just checking my email right now to make sure I didn't miss anything. So some of these questions or some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about today was posed to me as questions. You can call in at 706 804 4449. That's 706-804-4449. We had a great weekend of boxing, but we're going to save that for Monday's show. So when you come in, hit the like and subscribe button. If you're looking at it on the replay, hit the like and subscribe button. Anywho, so a lot of you contact me about weight loss. That seemed to be the prevailing thing that most people want to talk about. And as I explained to you guys, sometimes going that route is not always successful. There will always be outliers who can say, you know what, I'm trying to lose weight. Or you know what, I'm trying to build muscle. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go about it in the way that does that. And everything works in the the heavens open up and all the stars line up and boom, 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 you get your desire. Most of us, it doesn't work like that. There's some kind of, it seems like a built-in mechanism to automatically resist folks. And sometimes if you be feeling like I got to trick my mind, I got to sneak up on this or what have you, to get it popping. And so having knowing that and having knowing that's what causes a lot of derailment, I try to figure out a way around that. And it's a little bit of everything that I've learned over the years. So when people ask me, for the people who ask, why you approach it like you approach it, or they try to offer extra things outside of what I'm saying, it's a reason. It's a method for my reasoning. Okay. Some of you had some questions about the thyroid. Some of you had some questions about the liver. And some of you had some questions about the pancreas. And it seemed like between the three, I can't even say which one is worse. I get that question too. Which one is the biggest culprit? I can't say which one is worse. There's a lot of us with thyroid issues and don't even know it. Don't even know it. You can look in the mirror at yourself every day and don't even know you have a thyroid issue. But because I've had one, and I'm not saying Barbara badass. It's not, I don't ever talk in absolutes. So I don't want nobody emailing me like, but you said, I'm just saying in general. Because of what I went through, I can look at people's, neck area, for instance, and be like, they looking like they got a thyroid issue. I can look at people's eyes and be like, you looking like you got a thyroid issue. You know what I'm saying? If you've ever been that person that says, if I look at a cake or I look at a cheeseburger, I put on pounds, you probably got a pancreas issue, or, or something like an insulin, some kind of problem. I know that there will probably be outliers or people who will say, oh, that doesn't work. That's not the same. I want y'all to imagine the world like this. Now, just really, really picture it like this. Look at my dog bothering me again. So you can have, let's say 100 people. Let's keep the number small. You can have 100 people, right? And out of that 100 people, 10 of them don't have no problems whatsoever. When they want to, get slender, they do a couple of things, boom, 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 it works. When they want to get stronger, they do a couple of things, boom, 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 it works. They eat what they want, how they want. They grow older gracefully, in the sense that they're not, you could be 20 years old with a 40-year-old body. Or, maybe you all grayed out by the time you're like 20, 22. Some people have that fortunate luck, or whatever you want to call it, that all these problems that we have in America, they don't experience, they don't go through. And that's good for them. But the rest of us, that is not going to be true. And even if you don't see that you have a problem. Because here's the thing, you don't notice problems until it becomes socially inadequate for you or painful or something like that. So, what do I mean by that? If you're in your 20s and you're getting along famously like any other 20-something-year-old person is, meaning, you're not missing a beat socially, why would you think something wrong? Why fix something that ain't broke? That's how you think. If you're in your 30s, same thing. When you get older, because you get older and you start having issues, you be like, oh, it's because I'm getting older. But this is what happens to me when I get older. And not necessarily true. It could be the problems that you got going on. So um, just remember that it affects, Western diet affects all of us, but it can affect us differently. And me talking about all those different things, I'm going to rehash them a little and combine them to just show you, it could be affecting you. But before I get into it, water check. This will be my fourth one. This is my fourth one. I've drank 3 already. It's 1 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time. After I drank this, 4 times 8 is 32, right? Stomach hurt. Because I woke up late and I'm hungry. So after this, I have to go downstairs and make me something to eat, like a juice or something. But so I apologize now if you hear my stomach growl. But first, we're gonna do some transparency talk. So we had Thanksgiving just passed, and y'all always hear me say, "After all, tomorrow is another day." Meaning, if you couldn't make it through that day, you always got the next day. It's not the end of the world. People will be like, "Well, that's why." When you go at something, you want to go hardcore, but your mind has to be ready for change. That's the problem with going hardcore. You can approach something hardcore, but if your mind is not ready for change, you're doomed before you start. You know what I'm saying? And use some lotion. You're doomed before you start. So first and foremost, your mind has to be ready for it. If your mind ain't ready for it, then you got to work on things to make your mind ready for it. And so when we was talking about the food pyramid, I want y'all to erase that totally out your mind. Is that at this time we reprogram. We got about a month before Christmas. A lot of us can reach our goals before that time, but you got to be strong. I got to be strong. You know what I'm saying? I'm going on it with y'all. I'm going on the journey with y'all. Y'all doing it with me. So there is camaraderie. We'll meet up on Sundays. If you just starting, for those of y'all who just starting to watch, you could go ahead and start our slow walk journey. Our slow walk journey is free. It's for everybody. Anybody who want to go hardcore, there is a fee. And because you're going to email me, we're gonna talk about some things, and I'm going to figure out by what you tell me recipes specifically catered to you that you can eat on your journey. And I allow flexibility. So if you want to juice it, you can juice it. I will suggest it. If you want to eat it, you can eat it. It's going to get the same result. One's just going to be quicker. So, anywho, I'm on my 4th water. You guys can chime in at any time to tell me how many waters you drank. Our goal every week for the slow journey or the slow walking is 100 ounces of water per day. There's 128 ounces in 1 gallon of water, and we're doing 100 ounces per day. Demetrius Bright is in the building. Was popping king. Demetrius said he's at 34 ounces. This is my 4th one. I'm kind of like there with you. This is my 4th one because I drunk some in the middle of the night. After midnight is when you start your day. So right after midnight, that's when your day start all the way back up to midnight or 11:59 p.m. You know. So I'm at this is my fourth one. I'm a chug. My goal again is 100 ounces a day. We have demolished dairy out of our lives. For those of you who've been doing it for about a month, Demetria said the fake over is over. All props to Cambo. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that one too. Yeah, that was a good fight, but I have a lot to say about T.O. Like, that's crazy. Sorry, y'all. We was talking about boxing for a hot second. But, so, Demetrius, on another note too, you know my grown woman talk got deleted. Somebody complained. And it's probably from them videos. So I got to figure out how to edit it, take them videos out, and then, repost it or whatever. I'm hot. That was a good show. But ain't gonna be no more videos for me because I don't know. I see people do videos and I try to mimic how they do it and what they do, and nothing is ever good enough. You know who be complaining most is Facebook. YouTube don't never say I violate. Be Facebook. So I'm almost about to say bump Facebook. But I ain't. I'm gonna be patient. But anywho, so we shoot for 100 ounces per day. We eat no dairy, especially cheese. We don't eat no dairy. Exactamundo. No more videos. Can't have them doing that. Damn, that was a good show. So no dairy. We also do not do eggs. The only meat we eat is chicken, turkey, or tuna fish. That should give you a healthy variety or a good variety. I don't know how healthy that is because technically, you guys, we are herbivores. We are not carnivores. A lot of people think they got canines in their mouth. No, you don't. You don't have a canine tooth or teeth in your mouth. You're herbivores. You're plant eaters. Some of the biggest mammals on earth, they were all plant eaters. Elephants, plant eaters. Giraffes, plant eaters. Hippos even, plant eaters. When you talking about eating flesh, you're talking about apex predators, crocodiles, hyenas, dogs, wolves, like wolves, lions. These are apex tigers, all the different type of cats. These are apex predators. We are not. What we are is adaptable and resilient. That's the only thing. But we don't have to eat meat to survive. You want to get a big pec going on in your chest and lift 50, I don't know the go-to weight that y'all bench press. But you want to be doing all that stuff, or you want to get all cut up, and you don't need meat to do it. That is not the protein you need. Protein is found in all other foods too, in adequate amounts. You don't need it. In fact, you probably gonna find, and this is just a side note, like when I would go to the doctor, and of course I'm always getting checked. I'm a cancer survivor and I have autoimmune disorders, so I'm always getting checked, and that's going to be for the rest of my life. That means they checking my blood and trying to see what's going on in the body to see if everything is functioning correctly. And they will check. I don't know why they check this, but they will always tell me, they'll come back and say, you're not getting enough protein. And I was, in my mind, you couldn't tell me I'm not an apex predator. I was a meat eating somebody. In fact, if I made a meal, that was pretty much the only part of the meal that I wanted to eat. I'm not big on side dishes. So they were like, you don't have enough protein. I'm like, how? You're severely deficient in protein. How? And y'all know that that's bad when you start talking about amino acids and lipids and all that good stuff. It's bad to be deficient in protein. But how is that possible if I'm a meat eating somebody? When I stopped eating meat, and I came back for my regular routine checkups, they was like, what you do differently? And it was funny. I was like, why? And they said, well, your protein levels are good now. You know, me not having good protein levels could affect me health-wise. You're not having good iron levels could affect you health-wise. You're not having good B levels can affect you health-wise. This is why you got to make sure you eat the food that has all those things in it. And when you eat the Western diet, know what you do simultaneously? You exclude those foods. So once I noticed that when I gave up meat, all those levels balanced out, meaning I have a healthier body function. And you know, and that's what you want. That's what you want. You want to have everything working on all cylinders. So this is another reason why I approach things the way I approach them. The phone lines are open. 706-804-4449. That's 706-804-4449. The link is in the chat. Anybody who want to step in and give their testimony, please do. Please do. But so what I was saying at the top, like, we got to reprogram ourselves. You have to. I want y'all to get rid of the food pyramid out your mind. For these purposes, you notice I didn't say I discredit the food pyramid. I said get it out your mind. It hasn't helped you thus far? Get it out your mind. Don't think of that pyramid. I like for you to think of another pyramid. I like for you to think of a pyramid that has 3 sections in the middle. At the very top, small, exercise, 10%. The middle, food you eat, 30%. And the bottom half and down, 60% mental. So, and this is one of the topics I was going to talk about, but I'm going to recap and combine all the other topics. Today's topic was about mental. Mental is very, very, very important. Mental, you have to be ready for change, to accept change, to do change. Sometimes people wear their illnesses like a security blanket. I know I have done it and didn't know I was doing it. I have, like I told y'all, I don't have a thyroid gland. When it was removed, I gained a lot of weight and didn't see it coming. And when it comes on you real fast, like it came on me, you're not prepared for it. You don't like it. And it changes your life socially. It can make you socially inadequate. And that's exactly what happened to me. So it came on me real fast. And then I had to deal with it. And I'm struggling because I'm going with prevailing wisdom. Where does weight come from? Because, you know, gaining weight too can make you have health issues in other ways, right? So I'm like, where does weight come from? Let me get this thing off. And I'm very young at the time, you know. When the weight, I told y'all I had my thyroid removed at 24. My birthday hadn't come yet, so a couple of more months later is when the weight just boom. So I was like 25 years old. So I'm dealing with this shit, and it's like towards the end of the year, and I'm struggling. I mean, I'm in the gym like 7 hours a day. I still got to go to work. I still got to get sleep. I'm doing everything I could, and I just can't explain it. I can't explain how is it possible to gain 15 pounds in a week. That has happened to me. I promise you, that has happened to me. So when people be like, "Oh, the thyroid gland it just offsets you just a little bit," that's bullshit. A lot of, I'm telling y'all, it has happened to me. I've also lost 10 pounds in a week, and that has also happened to me. When you have an imbalance in your body anywhere, it is basically an imbalance everywhere, and that ain't good. Like the imbalance will cause dominoes effect, you know. So I had, like I said, initial weight gain, and I struggled with it for like 5 years. I want to say because I was 25, somewhere in my early 30s. Um, I had this minor surgery or whatever, and I had fibroids to be exact. I had fibroid tumors. Most people have, especially black women. I had some removed. I didn't have a whole lot. It wasn't real detrimental, but somewhere, like after I had my daughter, they was like, we gotta remove them. But I had two huge ones, right? I know y'all like, damn, see, you had a lot of stuff. This one is common. This is not no. This we now know that fibroids, believe it or not, you can blame the perms and all that bullshit we put in our hair, and maybe the the things we use for our cycle, the products we use for our cycle, because it's made out of trash. That's another story. But so when I had them removed, the doctor was like, "You about to get really small." I said, "Why you say that?" I wasn't even asking him to do that. I don't know what he was talking about, but apparently I had one the size of a basketball, like a regular male basketball. I don't know how these things are possible, but I had one the size of a male basketball. My stomach wasn't that big. Um, then I had several, like six, small ones, like grapefruit, lemon size, whatever. But then I had one behind my uterus in the back that was the size of kind of like a woman's basketball, maybe a little smaller. And so that's the one they couldn't get to. So they did the surgery, and like I said, I was in my early 30s, and it was a success. They took everything out. They said, "Oh, you can get small." We had to leave one of them in because to get to it, we have to go through your uterus, and not, you're too young. We didn't discuss this, and we figure you want your uterus. I was like, fucking right, I want my uterus. Don't be taking shit out just because. Um, so that happened, and next thing you know, he ain't lying. He ain't lying. I'm telling you, I ain't did shit. I just was my normal self. I took my regular thyroid medicine, and when I say the weight was peeling off, I was getting healthier. My blood pressure was regulating. I mean, it was just crazy. Like I can't even explain to you. I was so damn small. My breast got smaller, which was like weird to me because I knew I wouldn't get so small. Um, it was just I was just real small, and I'm a tall person, so for me to be that goddamn small, it wasn't. It didn't come off right. I had friends tell me, "Oh no, you don't look right. Now I don't know, your face is sunk in," and I wasn't sickly or anything like that, but that's when I said I've experienced losing like 10 pounds in a week. And this is why I said we got to reprogram ourselves. And this is why I say it's mental. If you talk to the average doctor, you cannot gain that much weight, 15 pounds that is, in a week. If you talk to people who has had that issue, yes, the fuck you can. I don't care what they say in the book. I'm telling you, that's a fact. It can happen. And until you go through it, you will never believe it. You have to take the word of people who've had that issue or have had that problem, whatever their issue. Their issue could be diabetic. You can gain a lot of weight in 1 week, and you can lose a lot of weight in 1 week, and it will not derail you, throw you into chaos or whatever. Gaining weight, of course, is a negative, but losing 15 pounds in a week, it depends on how you lose it. You know, there's a proper way and an improper way. But you can lose 10 pounds in a week or 15 pounds in a week and it will not throw you into no chaotic negative spin and have you sick and shit. It'll be just as normal. You'll feel the same. So they like to medical people like to give you things in averages and guidelines, because what they do, just so you understand, and some of you be like, Miss T, we already know this, but just for the people who don't, what medical people do is they take an average, y'all. They just take an average. Everything they say is normal is just an average. It's not necessarily normal. It's like they do survey after survey after survey. And this is the average. This line here is the average. That's all certain guidelines are based on. It's just averages. So if they say a woman who's 5'3" should weigh about 120, that's because they took survey after survey, and they do them in small groups, groups of 100, groups of 300. And they do the average of 300 women who are 5'3", especially if they're young, like what they are young. Because we know when you're young, you're at your best, right? We know that's the best measurement, because that's the guide, that is the go-to, that is the prototype when you're young. So that's what they look at. When you're young, hey, young women who are 5'3" should weigh 120 pounds. Is that an absolute? No, it's not. Because there will always be outliers. But it's the guide. It is the guide. I can tell you right now, if you did the survey on 300 white women, it'll probably say 120, maybe to say 115 nowadays. But back then, it'd probably be like 105 or whatever. But if you did 300 black women, that would not be the guide. But most things in this country, and I don't say this in a slighted way, most things in this country is based on standards set by white people, based on them. And I'm just saying to you guys, it's not a one size fit all. It doesn't perfectly fit. So if women who are 5'3" should weigh no more than 120, it's just a guide. You can have two women, one black, one white. Matter of fact, more than two. You can have an Indian, you can have a Latino, you can have a black, you can have an Asian, you can have a white. All of them 23. All of them 5'3". All of them would not weigh the same. I can tell you out the bunch, more than likely, and they can all, like, when you eyeball test them, look the same weight. As a matter of fact, they share each other clothes. They can put on each other clothes, and they can fit, and they can button, no problem. But weight wise, sorry if my computer is acting up, because I can see it like went out and came back in. But weight wise, when you actually get on the scale, 9 times out of 10, and this is not an absolute either, the black woman is going to weigh a few more pounds. Why? Because we are naturally muscular than most people. That's it. It don't mean that she just really got this person by weight. Like, that's fat. It's muscle weighs more than fat. Everybody knows that. So when you put them together and they make this statistical guide, they're just saying, out of the 300 women we tested who were 5'3", when we put all the weights together, most of them weigh about 120. So guess what? Women who we didn't test, or women out there in the world, if you're 5'3", you should weigh about 120. That is not saying it has to be that way. Because as I said, it's just a guide. Everything is a guide. If somebody's type 2 diabetes, we're going to wait till their sugar levels are at, I'm just throwing a number out, 50. Their sugar levels could be at 46. Are they still type 2 diabetes? But the doctor not going to call you type 2 diabetes until you reach the level that's set by the guide. Because we know that at 50, out of the 300 people we surveyed, their levels, when they reached 50, they all got sick. They all had major issues. Yeah, I'm actually, I just got showered not that long ago. I just saw my hand. I got to put my hand down. So they just guys. This is what I mean by reprogramming and mental. Also, people wear their illness and their weight like a security blanket, and they don't know it. So all your life, you could be like, all your adult life, that is, because I don't want to, really concentrate on children. We just need to feed them right, and everything will work out. But all your adult life, you're like, man, I've been trying to lose weight. I've been trying to do this, and I've been trying to do that, and you just seem to have a problem or whatever. But nobody's telling you what your issue is, and so then you get to a point where you get conditioned, meaning you just accept the status quo. Yeah, I'm always be fat. That's just how it is. I'm always gonna be fat. Ain't no sense in me doing nothing. No matter what I do, I'ma always be fat. That's how you start thinking. But the human in you, the resilience in you, especially the younger you are, is gonna be pushing you to do better. You always gonna want to do better. That's human nature. So you're always trying to do better. And so you'll say, okay, this time I'm going to conquer it. This time I'm going to make it. And you seem like you're having success, but you get close and something happens. Right? That's your, how do they say, that's your bridge to bear. Sometimes that might be the big obstacle in your life. And I apologize to anybody who's not religious, but I always sometimes, bring religion into it. When I say stuff like God will make you go through trials and tribulations until you get it right. So if you're not religious and you say higher being or whatever, however you believe it, but that's how I believe it. No harm intended. No, no harm or disrespect. But yeah, he'll make you go through stuff until you get it right. And when you get it right, then it'll be like effortless and smooth sailing. So if your problem is sticking to a plan and or quitting before you finish something, or you don't finish anything, you gonna have issues in your life where it requires you to commit to something and finish it out. It don't matter if it's losing weight. It could be a job. It could be a task. It could be raising your kids. Whatever the case. If you're a quitter, in the sense that you don't finish things out, and quitter is not like, we got to take the full throttle emphasis off of certain words because they can become crippling. So if somebody say you're a quitter, you're a quitter. You don't want to be a quitter, then stop quitting. But it's not the end of the world. You don't always have to stay a quitter. That's just temporarily. That's what you're doing. Quitting. I mean, you don't have to stay quitting. Like I always say, after all, tomorrow is another day. And my Vivian Lee voice from Gone with the Wind, that's me giving her credit. Not trying to copyright. But she that verse in that movie was profound to me, because some days you got it, some days you don't. Don't mean you're a quitter. But mentally, if you're a person who don't finish stuff, everything that you have to do, where you have to commit to it and finish it, you're gonna have problems with. So here we go again with the mentals thing, right? Then you have then you have you know belief. You have to believe that in what you're doing and why you're doing it. You have to believe in it because if you don't, you're not going to more than likely be successful at it. I sit here and I tell y'all the behind the story. I try to paint a picture. Why do I do that? Because when you know better, you do better. When you see a picture and you can visualize it and you're like, you know what? This is why I'm doing it. This is exactly why I'm doing it. You're going to be more successful, in my opinion. When you know, like I'm telling y'all how the body functions, how it in general works. I don't try to explain it to you as if I'm a doctor talking to you. Never that. I try to explain it to you to get the gist. Because some people, again, could go through their whole life and not connect dots. This is all mental. The security blanket thing, that's real. That's real. There are people out there who have reached their goals and lost their weight and gained it back. You know why they gained it back? Because mentally they was not ready for it. But if you had learned that, and like I said, most people, chime in or be looking at the show or email me questions on the side. Why? Because they more concerned with the weight loss. I ain't mad at you. I'm more concerned about finding the health in you. But a lot of people do that and they'll lose the weight. They're gaining back. And they be like, why? I failed. No, you failed because you didn't know everything you needed to know. A lot of people, you let prevailing wisdom talk. You let the stuff that they teach us, it becomes embedded in our brain. They have you believing that you just gluttony for punishment. That you just pull up at a buffet like the clumps and you just have at it. You know that you lazy because that's a choice that you chose that route, and now you lazy and that's why you're gaining all this weight. And it's never the case. It's never the case. But if I can reprogram your mind, if I can get you to think of stuff differently or think of it differently, then you would ease on in to a better you, a more knowledgeable you, and a more sustainable you. Versus you just trying to lose weight for the wrong reasons. You should want to lose weight for health reasons. Period. That's the main reason. Whatever type of body God gave you, in my opinion, and I ain't mad at people who alter their body, because that's not what this show is about. But in my opinion, God made you perfect. So all you have to do is accentuate what He did perfectly. Some people don't like their nose. Some people don't like their lips. He made you perfect. I ain't no different. If something I don't like, I'm not against altering your body and all that, going to get a surgery or whatever. I'm not against none of that. But I do think some people take it way too far. And there's a natural way to fix a lot of things, but hey, you know what I'm saying? To each his own. That ain't my show. That ain't the type of show I want to run. And talking about that. But it happens. But you have to be mentally ready for the change. If you ain't mentally ready, there won't be no change. And if you do have change, it's fleeting. Okay? The number one cause for people being obese in America is the food we eat. That is the number one cause. They lie to you. They lie to us about what they put in the food and how much they put in the food. The reason why you get hungry after eating an hour or two later, there's an ongoing joke. When you eat Chinese food, you're hungry an hour later. It's a joke, but it seemed like it's true, right? We could say that about other fast foods. It always seemed like you're hungry soon after. You know why you're hungry? It's a simple reason, but I bet you most of y'all have never thought of it. And some of y'all probably say, Miss T, we know this. Talking to the people who don't know this. So y'all just along for the ride. The reason why you're hungry within an hour of eating, let's say, Chinese food or fast food or anything, or you're snacking all day, even though you ate a whole pizza, the reason why you're hungry is because you're starving. You're malnutritious. Remember last video I talked about malnutrition and what it looked like. Malnutrition can look just like me. You could take somebody like Serena Williams, a superb athlete, and she could be malnutrition. Trying to think of people that's really little. Think of the smallest person you know, they could be malnutrition. Think of the biggest motherfucking person you know, they could be malnutrition. In fact, it's kind of like a myth because I know I've thought of it when I was young. I thought malnutritious people were very, very thin. But y'all watch that My 600-Pound Life. Those people are malnutritious. All of them. All of them. They're starving. That's why you can be hungry again within an hour or you snacking all day. Well, Miss T, how are we hungry? How are we starving? I just ate a whole piece and I had wings on the side. Did you eat something nutritional? Is the question. And if you didn't, that means all that stuff that you ate that wasn't nutritional, your body didn't use. So did you fuel your body or not? If you did not fuel your body with nutrition, then your body is starving. And that's why that hunger kicks back in. Simple as that. But I'm sure there's people out there listening that never probably thought of it like that. They never thought of it like that. And that is the simple answer. You are hungry because you did not give your body nutrition. Your body fuels off of nutrition. It doesn't get its fuel from pizza or cheeseburgers or wings. Your body can't use it. That's the reprogramming right there. Whether you're 600 pounds, 300 pounds, 400, 200, 150, whatever, or your perfect weight. If you do not feed your body the nutrition that it needs, it will starve to death. And it will become acidic. And then herein lies the problems. That's when you have all these other issues, these other medical issues that are either debilitating or could kill you. And if they're debilitating, what you going to do? You're going to sit down somewhere. Hence why people say, oh, they lazy. They'll get up for food, but they lazy. You see how lazy is at the tail end of you not being properly fed. But you being properly fed won't allow you to be lazy. Just won't let you. There's a high that you get from eating foods that come out the ground or fall off the tree. And I'm saying you don't get it by eating those foods and the junk food, so to speak. I'm talking about when you strictly eat nutritional food. There's this high. It's bigger than any high you could get from, like, let's say weed. I don't know about high of other type of mechanisms like drinking or other drugs or whatever. But there's this natural high, and I mean, I'm sure like when when they fast for religious purposes, and how they be just joyous and all that. That's that natural high. They ain't connecting the dots, but it's because they fast, and that's what your body's supposed to do often. It's supposed to fast often, not just doing Lent, not just doing whenever. Throughout the year, you're supposed to fast. Intermediate fasting is a good thing. Why do we fast, Miss T? We fast to give our body a break, to recharge, to reboot. We fast so your filtering systems can take a break to finish off whatever job. That's why every day there should be some kind of fasting. When you go to sleep at night, you're fasting. You lose more calories, you burn more calories when you sleep than you ever will when you up. Like just sleeping. You also recharge and reboot your whole system. And that has to happen every day. So it's important to mentally understand a lot of this stuff, because it's going to help you, on your journey of what you're trying to do. So there's, like I said, there's a reason for my a method of my madness or whatever. There's a reason for it. I take what I've learned about every little thing, I combine them together to work in conjunction with each other, not against each other or over top or overlay or whatever. I combine everything I know to work with each other. I know mentality is 60% of the game. It's 60% of the game, whether you're trying to, you can't think of nothing there. Mental is not important. If you're a boxer, this is a boxing show. Mentality is 60%. All that other physical stuff, that's just, whatever. But it's always about your mental. When it comes to you trying to achieve a goal, it's always going to be about your mental. They say it takes 21 days to break a habit. That may be true. That may be true. But isn't that mental? You got to have the mental fortitude to stay with the program. So some of you who start the program fall off. Tomorrow is another day. It literally is another day that you get back on your horse and go for it. But now if you have 3-4 days in a row where you got to say tomorrow is another day, then you're just going to have to scrap it and start again. Tomorrow is another day is when you have that one moment of weakness. It cannot be a whole lot of moments, but it's factored in. You mess up, you do it again. When you were playing basketball, for those of y'all who know how to play basketball, guess what? You didn't just walk on the court knowing how to shoot a set shot or jumper or whatever. You ain't know how to do that. You ain't know how to rock in the paint. You ain't know how to do that. You ain't know how to play the forward position versus the guard position. You didn't know how to do that. You had to learn these things. Practice made perfect, right? You had to practice until you knew it. It was mental. So when it comes this whole topic right here, I can't say it enough. If you're not mentally prepared for what achievements you're going to get by following this program, you can throw a monkey wrench in your whole shit. So let's talk about the slow walkers again. Water, as you see me sipping. Our goal is to drink 100 ounces of water per day. Why? The human body, or mammals period, are mostly water. Don't look like it. I see my face. I see my face in the camera. I don't look like I'm liquid. But your body is mostly liquid, more so than it's anything else. So suffice to say, you drink water. Water is a life sustainer. It's not a living thing. But one can make the argument, that's an argument, like if you want to look at it as a living thing, I wouldn't give you no pushback. But it's technically not a living thing. It's a life sustainer. The sunlight, you need that. You need that. Like you need water. It's a sustainer. So we have a couple of sustainers in this thing called life. And water and sunlight are it. We know that water helps you flush out everything, helps you regulate stuff. We know that it's good for the heart. You should drink a glass of water, meaning 8 ounces, before you go to bed. Before you lay down and close your eyes, you should drink a bottle of water or 8 ounces of water every night. When you wake up first thing in the morning, you should drink a bottle of water. You should. Period. That should become your routine, even if you don't drink water throughout the day, because water is one of them things that it's not sexy, it's not cute, you know. A lot of people don't want to do it all day because it's just not cute. But if you start on that journey, guess what? You're going to feel like shit when you don't drink it. And that ought to tell you, you know what I'm saying? That ought to tell you. You didn't come into this world drinking sodas and coffee and tea. You didn't. I love tea. I can't drink coffee. But tea and coffee are diuretics, natural diuretics. So they have their purpose. But you didn't come into this world drinking it. I can go my whole life and not drink tea. But I cannot go my whole life and not drink water. Now, that's a fact. You cannot survive your whole life and not drink water. But you can survive your whole life and not drink tea, coffee, liquor, you name it. And that should be the hint and a half. That's what I mean by changing your mental. Ask those type of questions. Can I live a whole life up until my 90s, if you will, God willing, with just drinking water? Can I do that? And the answer overwhelmingly will be yes. I mean, like without drinking water, no. But with drinking water is yes. Without drinking water is no. Can I go my whole life without drinking water? No, you can't. Can I go my whole life with drinking water? Just water? Yes. Can I go my whole life without drinking tea? Yes. Can I go my whole life with drinking tea? To a certain extent, maybe. We don't know how tea affects you. But tea comes out the ground, so I'm going to say yes. I'm not knocking tea. Tea start off as leaves. Leaves come out the ground. So y'all know I'm a proponent of any or advocate for anything that comes out the ground. Coffee are beans that come out the ground. They're natural diuretics that was put here for us for some reason. Just like marijuana in its natural state was put here for us for some reason. Cocoa plants. They're plants. That's how they make cocaine. But in its natural state has a purpose. It was the pain pill of its day. The people who lived around there knew to grab them when they had toothaches. Toothaches is not something that we have just in the 20th and 21st century because we have dentists, or maybe in the 19th century because we had dentists. Toothaches was happening, thousands and thousands of years ago before anybody even knew how to fix on teeth. Headaches, migraines were going on back then too. But you would take the cocoa leaves and you put it in your mouth and just kept it inside of your mouth, like chewing tobacco or something. And it alleviated pain. It fixed whatever acute problem you had at the time. So it was necessary. But again, it's a plant. Opium. opioids. All of them come from a plant that grows on a mountain, specifically in Afghanistan. This is why all them people over there, y'all. Fuck what they tell you. Opium is big business. Opioids are big business. Whoever controls that shall be rich. Keep it above. So, yes, there's things that you can live without and be fine. And live, God willing, 97 years. But there's things you cannot live without. And water is one of them. You cannot live an entire life without water. You just can't. Now, I know they got this new thing out for new mothers say you don't have to give your babies waters. I heard the prevailing wisdom of why they say that. I'm old school with it. You don't have to give your babies a lot of water. Because technically, how they say, the good rule of thumb is you drink half your body weight in water. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you drink 100 ounces of water. If a baby weighs 7 pounds, then they're drinking 3 and some change, ounces of water. You know what I'm saying? But you can sneak water into your baby. I don't see why you shouldn't. I think it's a dangerous game you're playing. When you don't hydrate. Because if you don't drink water, you dehydrate yourself. And dehydration causes a whole lot of problems. Domino effect. A lot of people think you can't die from dehydration. Yes, you can. But we all live in a world where we can get to the doctor real quick. That's one of the things that you should never die from. Because we know what it is. We know what it can do. It's an easy fix. Drink some water. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people, like I said, it's not sexy. It's not cool. It's not the bee's knees. You like that flavor because you use what you really used to is sugar. And that's the other topic today, sugar. Sugar, boom, 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 boom. Remember that commercial? Now, sugar in its natural state is a good thing. You can't OD on it. You can't overdose on it. You can't do none of that. Even if you try. Sugar is so goddamn sweet in its natural state, even if it don't taste sweet to you, because your palate has now changed in regards to what you think sugar is and how sugar tastes. But sugar in its natural state is way too sweet. Way, way too sweet. Now, they estimate that we eat a certain amount of sugar per year as individuals, which is not good. Whatever that number is, it was some ungodly number. I was like, what? A 5-pound bag of sugar in my house can last a whole year. I try not to cook with sugar because sugar is in everything. Let me repeat that. Sugar is in everything. How we tie this to mentality? Because this show is really about the mental aspect of finding the health in you. Well, if you don't understand the foundation of sugar or the implications of sugar or where people find sugar the most, then how can you know better? How can you do better? I'm seriously asking y'all. So I apologize. I just got out the shower before I started this. And I forgot to hit the lotion bottle. Sorry. It's all good. I'm still a human being. After all, tomorrow's another day. But, okay, sugar. Sugar can be a good thing. We can say a lot of good things about sugar. But sugar in excess is a bad thing. Anything in excess is a sin. Supposed to be, right? But the problem with sugar, your body runs off of sugar, believe it or not. Your brain does anyway. And what's more important than the brain? If the brain gone, then you ain't here. You really ain't here. You're not living. So sugar is very, very, very important. But natural sugar, that is. Not that fugazi shit. That fugazi shit is very dangerous. And it's dangerous to all of us. In fact, there could be people walking this earth thinking that they're not drug addicts. I want to flip your mind and change your mental. I'm sorry for this flashing thing. I don't know what the hell that is. But I want to flip your mind and change your mental and tell you that most of us walking this earth are drug addicts of one drug or another. People be like, well, I don't drink and I don't smoke and I don't do no damn drugs unless it's prescribed by a doctor. But you eat. You do eat. And if you're eating and you're eating Western diet type foods, you are junkie. You are a real junkie. You are a sugar addict. And if you don't believe me that you're a sugar addict, stop eating sugar and watch you go through withdrawals like nobody business. And them damn withdrawals is just as worse as somebody who's a heroin addict or somebody who's a cocaine addict or crack addict. When they go through withdrawals, it's the same damn feeling. Same. Demetrius Bryce said, please differentiate between what is sugar in its natural state versus the fugazi. Fugazi. Fugazi meaning fake, y'all. That's all fugazi means. It's just a lingo I use. Natural sugar, okay? Natural sugar comes out the grain. Sugar cane. Natural sugar is in everything that comes, food that come out the ground and grow off the tree. There's always sugar in that. What it look like? What's the proper name? I'm just saying that it's sugar. When you eat spinach, there is sugar in spinach and kale. Every vegetable you name, there's sugar in it. Every fruit you name, there's sugar in it. It's naturally in that. You couldn't have mixed the ingredients no more perfect than the way God invented them, right? Then you have man-made sugar, which is granulated sugar, the white sugar, or these other types of sugars, these little packs of sugar, or I don't know all the names, but you get sweet low, you get this, that, and I ain't messing with nobody's brand. I'm just saying if it's processed or man-made, it's fugazi. It is. Like I said, your brain runs off of sugar. That's a good question, Demetrius. Your brain runs off of sugar. It needs it to function. So how we get the sugar? Nutrients. Nutritional food has all the sugar you need. All the sugar you need. You said or I don't know. Dre Finest is in the building. He said salute. Salute to you, King. Demetrius, I'm not sure what you mean by is I or is L. But all that fake sugar, that sugar is not good for you. You don't know what it's doing to you. You're not connecting the dots. All you got to do is pull it out your body and then try to introduce it to your body. And if you get sick, it told you everything you needed to know. When you eat food, you should feel energetic, not sleepy. And when you eat food, within 30 minutes to 45 minutes, you should have a bowel movement. That's how it naturally is supposed to work. But because we bombard our body with all this fugazi crap that gets stuck up in the body and causes all these other problems, we don't connect the dots and wonder and point to why we have this problem and all that. Demetria said, is a 5 pound of imperial fake sugar, or is sugar from fruit and vegetarian natural state? So anything that comes in food that comes out of the ground. So you name any food that grows in the ground. Rice grows out the ground, right? Beans grow out the ground, right? Fruits fall off the trees, right? Other fruits grow out the ground. Tomatoes, all that stuff that you plant and it grows out the ground has sugar. Has all the sugar you need. Any sugar outside of that, you don't need it. I'm just saying, it's not saying that you can't have it. I'm saying you don't need it. You just don't need it. There's nothing gonna happen to you bad if you just stop eating sugar. And I mean man-made sugar, meaning if it went to a factory and they processed it in any kind of way, if they got them in little packages, like the sweet and lows and all that, then we already know it's processed. If it's white, real sugar is not white, then we already know it's fugazi. You know what I'm saying? Sugar cane, we all have to look up what sugar cane looks like. That's real sugar, because you plant that comes out the ground. But we know we take that and we alter it, just like smoking. Tobacco comes out the ground. That's natural, right? But if you found a way to add more nicotine in it to make it more addictive so people can keep buying cigarettes, isn't that what they got sued for? But man can do that type stuff. We always do shit like that. Now, cigarettes is more addictive than damn heroin. I mean, if you look at on the charts of like what was more addictive, I don't know the statistics today, but at one time cigarettes was more addictive than heroin. And you would think heroin would be worse, right? Stephen Houston in the building was Papa King. He said Devin has a glass shin, but till female got dropped twice. I hear you, Stephen, but we're going to talk about that Monday. This is my wellness show. Dre Finest, can all of the fake sugar, you had a check mark. Demetria said, basically the sugar sold in store is fake sugar, white sugar, brown sugar, fake sugar. Unless it comes from fruits and vegetables, then it's in the natural state. And you said sugar cane. So Demetrius, basically what I'm saying is God provided. Again, if I say stuff like that, y'all, I'm not meaning no harm and disrespect, because when I just say God, because this is how I am, that's who I am. But, no harm and disrespect to anybody else's religion. But I'm just talking, because I'm me. God provided us with everything we needed on the earth. Anything we made outside of that or developed or changed or altered, we did that. But he gave us everything we needed in this natural state. Okay? And if you think of it like that, then, that's the best way to think of it. White sugar in a bag is fake. It's not real sugar. Is it made from sugar? Yeah. We talked about this when we was talking about pills. When you taking your medicine, they want you to be a repeat offender. They want you to keep buying that medicine. So they ain't never going to give you the medicine that totally cures the problem. They're going to slow walk you. They're going to put about 40%, maybe 30% of what's going to help you fix the problem in that pill. The rest of the stuff is some kind of sugar, i.e. filler, to make the pill, period. And you taking it. And now what? You having side effects from the medicine. The side effect is coming from the fillers in the pill, which is sugar. Sugar is not your friend, not man-made sugar. God's sugar is your friend. Man-made sugar is not, but we all love it. I do too. When I had my daughter make the yams for Thanksgiving this past week, I told her exactly how to make it. You don't think we pour no sugar in that thing? Did we? Did we? I say I was cooking, but really I was a guide. I was helping my daughter cook her first Thanksgiving meal. She cooked everything, but I was there to help and guide because I know how to do it. This was her first. So for her first time, she did good. I sat there, and because that's my baby and she did a wonderful job, I tasted everything. But that's all I could do is put a teaspoon of everything she made on the plate. And I would grab it and I'd taste it. Oh, it's good. That was my Thanksgiving. And I had the bubble guts all night after that. I don't even remember what I ate Friday because I had the bubble guts. But I did eat a little bit more than a teaspoon of the candy because I just love it. I love sweet potatoes. Just love it. But do I have to put all them sugar on it? No, I didn't. But it was good. Dre finally said, "Can something the fake sugar, in other words, throw it away?" I don't know what this similar. It looked like a can. A can. The fake sugar, in other words, throw it away. You can do it with a balance. See, I'm not one to tell you for the rest of your life, eat this boring way. Because it's boring. It is. Let's keep it a buck. It's boring. I'm not even going to eat this way for the rest of my life. Eventually, when I reach my goals, I'm gonna eat tuna fish here and there. I love tuna fish. But remember I told you, if it has eyeballs and a spine and has feelings, you don't supposed to eat it. So that means flesh period. You're not supposed to eat meat. But I like tuna fish. So I will be one of them people that eat tuna fish. I like chicken. So chicken and turkey. For those of y'all who are slow walking this journey with us, chicken and turkey, that's my go-to. I will probably forever eat those two things when I reach my goal. Everything else, I'm not bringing dairy back. I'm not. It don't like me. Dairy doesn't like me. I think Demetrius, you was talking about you try to eat some stuff that was kind of made out of dairy and you got sick. You said you didn't feel good, right? Because dairy has a lot of sugar in it too. I'm telling y'all, it's the sugar. That's why people can't go on no real diet. Like people be like, well, if you just eat this many calories and blah blah blah, then you'll lose weight and blah blah blah. No, it don't always work like that because you don't know why you gained it in the first place. You ain't most people. Y'all will hardly ever meet somebody who's just a straight up over motherfucking eater like the clumps. You will hardly ever meet anybody like that. You meet people, but they could get in that zone. I ain't saying they can't. But everybody who's obese, who's overweight, that's not the problem. The problem is they can't, the sugar don't like them. It's different levels of it too. It's different levels of how sugar don't like you. To me, it hates me. And it tells me it hates me. And it fucks me up because it hates me. But my sister, my brother, nope. You would think they get along. They good pals. And we all came from the same mother. How is this possible? But it hates me. It does stuff to me that make me socially inadequate or feel socially inadequate, debilitating, and sometimes threaten my life. Dre's finally said, well, to each his own. Yeah, to each his own. I'm not saying forever you have to totally give it up. I'm saying when you want to find out or find the health in you, because y'all will have to go back and look at my old programs to tell you how, so you can see why I approach it the way I approach it. When you go back, I approach it because I know in order to find the health in you, you have to clean your system first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? You got to clean your system. When you clean your system, i.e. detox, then you start adding stuff back slowly, you'll find the culprit. But if you never clean your system and you never detox yourself and you're eating the same shit all the time, how you know what particular thing is fucking with you? You don't know. That's the whole purpose of cleaning your system. Dre Finer said facts. Um, Dre Finer said, my diet, turkey, chicken, and fish. I love pink salmon. I'm trying to get off the chicken. The chicken is supposed to be like the nastiest animal you can ever eat. And besides, even outside, like when you go feed the ducks and the geese, don't give them no bread, y'all. They don't like that shit either. Like, do y'all research, find out what they actually like. You be slowly killing these fucking animals because of the sugar. I always ask the question, what is worse? A candy bar, a Snicker candy bar, or a slice of bread? And some people are just smart. They were like, well, she asking it, so I'm going to say the slice of bread. And if you say the slice of bread, you're right. It's worse. You better off just eating a Snicker bar than to eat a slice of bread. If you're talking about calories and this, that, and other. That's why when people do diets, it don't seem like it works. And then the first thing people say about another person is, you lazy, or you're not really doing the diet. And you be like, what the fuck? Especially if you the one doing it. You be like, you know how much I done walk past and how I disciplined myself for 2 or 3 weeks and all I lost was an ounce. Fuck this diet. How you gonna diet some shit that you don't even know what you eat? How? Y'all think the labels in America is telling y'all everything? They not. He said facts. I know, right, sis? And he said both. They're not telling you everything that's on in the food. Fructose, corn syrup, all that shit don't like you. And just because it ain't hit you like it hit me, it's gonna get you. It's gonna get you. Some people have things about themselves that's different from others that seem like, I call it superimposed or just exacerbated. So we'll see somebody who can eat what they want, never, gotta worry about eating later, nothing, never put on a pound, just eat all day, every day. You know what? And those people, to me, have it worse than people who can't eat all that they want, because as soon as they look at a cake, they put on 2 pounds. You know why? Because a person who can eat what they want and have a high metabolism, that's what we call it, guess what? They don't get no warning shots. They don't get no shots across the bow. But a person who look at a cake and gain weight, they get all kinds of warning shots. They get the heads up. Hey, you getting to the point where this shit gonna kill you. What happens to the people who never gain weight and have a high metabolism? Guess what? They never know. They just checking along, and the worst happened. And then y'all be like, just yesterday, I just saw them yesterday. They was healthy as hell. I didn't even know they was sick. How they dropped dead? They were so healthy. No, they won't. They wasn't all that healthy. They was malnutritious. And I just told y'all too that a malnutritious person could be 600 pounds and they could be the perfect weight and everything in between. Malnutrition just means you don't have no nutrition. This is why you eat all day. This is why you snack all day. Now, for those of you who never thought of it like that, what you think you're going to do going forward? I tell you what I could do. I could front load some nutrition and still eat my cheeseburger and pizza late at night. And I'll be good. Exactamundo. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. When you know better, you do better. Some of us need to, especially the older you are, especially if you close like to my age group, you need to go ahead and clean the system out. You need to go ahead and get the broom out and start sweeping this shit up. You got to at this point. To y'all who are 18 and 20 and 21, y'all young. Y'all body resilient. Y'all body works with you. Your body is tougher. It beats, and these are little battles that go on in your body, and y'all are winning the battle every time. But when you get in your 40s or something like that, nah, it don't work like that. The body winning. You know what I'm saying? The damage that you doing is winning. So you got to switch it up. Okay, and you gotta find out what you are allergic to. And allergies, people, allergies. When I say allergies, a lot of people understand what allergies are. Allergies is a big name. It could under that umbrella of allergies, or right beside the word allergies, you can say autoimmune disorders. I personally believe, I can't prove it, that we all, in America especially, have autoimmune disorders. But there's levels to that shit. There's levels to that shit. And autoimmune disorder just simply means your body attacks itself. It's when your body attacks itself and degrade itself in certain areas. For instance, having eczema is an autoimmune disorder, but it's classified as an allergy. You know what eczema is, or psoriasis, or these people who walk around with skin disorders that a lot of us be like, yuck, ew, get away from me. You know what these people suffer from? It's an autoimmune disorder called an overactive immune system. Let me just say that again. An overactive immune system. I have it. It's a plus and it's a minus. When I was young, I was young. I did as young people do. I was in the club. I was meeting dudes. And I was throwing this shit on the crap table. It's like most young people do. But I have never, knock on wood, because I'm superstitious too, I have never been told, girl, you're holding something by any doctor. Never. But guess what? Do I think I'm lucky? No. I always thought like, damn. I don't. I'm a person who don't get sick neither. Like from other people. Like just I'm talking about sickness that you be catching and shit. I just don't. I'm an ill person. Like I get ill and I have illnesses and ailments, but all of those are inside me. Like that genetic that I'm born with it. I didn't catch it from nobody. I don't catch anything hardly ever. And I have like I said, a severe case of overactive immune system. But when they told my mom, or when they told me at the hospital what you got, and they said you got eczema, that's how they tell you. They don't tell you overactive immune system. This is something you find out later. And basically, my immune system think everything fucking with me. If I take this bottle of water and start drinking it and I just do this, my immune system gonna be like, what is that? Run to that area and kill it, fix it, whatever. It takes no time for it to register like that. It just think that everything is trying to hurt me or kill me. And it goes into overdrive, right? And it goes up there to fix this, me doing this. It goes up to that area to fix it. Get up there and find out, oh shit, it ain't nothing to fix. But now that those chemicals or whatever it is that be, flowing through your body to fix things, now that it's released, what it's going to do? Because we know energy is not stored, or you can't lose energy, or you ain't going to store it. It's not, I forgot how the saying is. But y'all know energy is going to be used, period. It's going to, play itself out. So now that they know this was not harmful, what do? It ran to that area to fix it, but it found out it was nothing, and the byproduct is a rash. So when y'all see people with rashes and scaly skin and perforated skin, and it could be looking like measles bumps or whatever, they have an overactive immune system. Their body thinks it's being invaded, and the body is like, fuck to the now. Fuck to the now. That's how my body be like, hell no. You ain't coming up and chill. That's how my body be. And my body beats it down. And if it's nothing to beat down, it's still in the act of beating it down, but they ain't beating nothing. So the byproduct is the rash. That's what eczema is, y'all. That's what psoriasis is. So all them people you have seen like that, they also don't catch shit like talking about it. They just don't. Now, is that normal? No, it's not. It's overactive. Just like a person with a high metabolism, that's not normal. It's normal to them, but it's overactive. You know what I'm saying? So you couldn't bottle this shit and say, "Oh, let me bottle it up," and she got overactive metabolism. If we could just, somehow create that in the lab and bottle it up and sell it. No, somebody else on her level, like if you introduce her level in somebody else's body, it could kill them. It's normal for her. It works for her. That imbalance is not killing her. She can live a long life, God willing. It won't bother her. Me, I can live a long life, God willing. Having an overactive immune system is not bothering me to a certain point. But it thinks everything is out to get me. And they be wrong a lot of times. But they have medicine for that now. I don't think people seek help when they have an overactive metabolism, but people definitely seek help when they have skin disorders. And they have medicine now. And what they do is this medicine is called Dupixin. It's one of the best. And so when you get a shot in your stomach, and Medicaid pays for it, y'all. Just in case y'all know people with eczema real bad, or poor little babies, we just going, this shit is painful, y'all. And it's agonizing. But you get this shot in your stomach twice a month. And it arrests two proteins in the immune system setup. So it makes it kind of dormant. It don't kill it. It just makes it go to sleep for a while. And that way, those proteins don't get alerted and be activated and be sending, your medicine through your body like to fix something on a fruitless journey. You know what I'm saying? And I got to say, I was on it before the pandemic. I haven't gone back to it yet because they felt like when they took me off it, they was like, we don't know what this virus can do. So we're going to let your body be able to fight for itself. And I'm going to tell y'all, nothing. And I should be a high risk. Yes, I am vaccinated, but I don't never catch nothing. I'm telling y'all, I don't. Knock on wood. Because I'm just telling y'all my experience. I ain't opened myself up and ran no tests. I'm just telling y'all my experience. I really rarely ever catch anything. My body won't let it. I have an overactive immune system. And so it's in the business of beating shit down. And so I'm used to it now. Yeah, I'm used to it. I don't like the rashes at all, but I'm used to it. So I guess when I really do need it, be coming through a punch because I don't really catch nothing, But anywho, what the problem is, going back to what I was saying, when we say allergies be operating off of sugar too. You can be like, Miss T, I'm allergic to cats. I'm allergic to dogs. How they got to do with sugar? I'm allergic to grass because when I smell grass, I get sick. Me too. I'm so sick I gotta go to the ER to save my life because my throat closes up. Miss T, how you gonna say any of that got to do with sugar? Well, when you have an abundance of fugazi, meaning fake, sugar in your body, you have just threw your body off. It's not balanced anymore. An imbalance anywhere in the body is an imbalance everywhere in the body because everything works in conjunction with everything. So that sugar, it does a number on you whether you see it or not. People with alopecia, take the sugar out your diet. Male pattern baldness, take the sugar out your diet. Macadocious Mac of the South, salute to you, King. Salute the lovely and beautiful Madame Queen, Miss T. Thank you, sir. Demetrius Bright says salute and Macadocious Mac of the South. Yeah, take the sugar out your life. Y'all want to see a turnaround in your health, you got to take the sugar out your life. But first, you got to believe, this the way the mental, bringing it back full circle. You have to believe that sugar is a drug. You have to start looking at it like it's heroin. It's the worst. Out of all the drugs out there, it is the most addictive and it's the worst. You think a doctor gonna tell you that? He don't make money when you healthy. And I ain't knocking doctors, but they don't. They don't make money when you healthy. They're not gonna tell you that. You don't know it. Guess what? You gonna feed your kids that bullshit. If you ever looked and paid attention to a kid from when they baby up, you damn near gotta force them to eat meat and all this bullshit. All they ever really want is fruit and vegetables. They gladly eat that. I don't know if y'all ever try to feed a little kid some chicken or something. You got to break the meat off and disguise it, because if it look like an animal, they don't want to eat it. It's a reason it's like that, because even instinctively they know innately that we won't supposed to eat that shit. They know it, but hold on, y'all. But we force it on them all the time. I remember me doing it to my kids. Why? Because I needed them to eat something fast so I can go the fuck to sleep, so I can get up and go to work. I was tired. Single mother. I ain't had no help. When I was in the military and on ships, this shit was hard. And I didn't have time to come home and put together a well-balanced, decent meal. Shit, I had pizza. We used to eat pizza once a week, every week, the same day. That was pizza night. Cheeseburgers on another night. My kids didn't want that shit, but I was like, you gotta eat it. Because if you don't eat it, you're going to tell me you hungry. They didn't want it. When I was young, like between 5 and 10, I didn't never eat ice gas whoopers because I didn't eat. I didn't want to eat. I didn't know how to connect the dot. But my mom probably felt like, little girl. I've been in this kitchen cooking, and you gonna tell me what? You ain't eating? PGH Big Dog in the building. Salute, King. I done been clicking these pots together over the stove, and you gonna scarf your nose up and not eat? But it wasn't that. I used to spit shit out the window. I used to put holes in the screen and spit it out the window. I used to spit it in the toilet. I mean, she was getting hip to all my tricks. But that's what my most memory, from like 6 or like 5 to like 10. I never would eat. I've gone to like bed hungry or fell asleep at the table, with my head down. Everybody else asleep. They had their bath, ate and everything. I'm like, because I just didn't want to eat. But what it was, I would get the bubble guts real bad. I just didn't feel good. I felt sick. And I didn't know why. And I honestly thought everybody felt that. But I was being a little bitch crying about stuff. That's what I thought. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm out here playing with the fellas, playing football, whatever. I'm tough. I'm a tough little girl. Why am I crying about this shit? But I didn't know how to verbalize that to my mom. And all my moms know back then was they had a saying back in the 70s and the early 80s. Yeah, starving people in Africa. So if it's starving people in Africa, you better be happy that you even getting a meal in this piece. So what you're not going to do is deny the meal. You ain't going to throw your nose up at the meal. And so I could understand that, there's people who don't even get to eat. So I got what she was saying, but my stomach, I'm like, I can't. And like I said, sometimes, not every time. I don't want y'all to think my mama was abusing me. But depending on what she was going through at the time, she could be mad enough to give me an ass whooping. Or make me sit at the table. She was sick of this shit. This shit was day in and day out until I came to puberty, for real. And before like 5.5, or whatever. As far as back as I can remember, we used to eat outside because everybody grew something. Like when we lived in a different area, we moved into the city more when I was 5.5, almost 6. But up until that point, before that, we lived in an area where we grew honeysuckles in our backyard. We didn't try to grow up; they was an abundance. It was enough where you go out there and suck them, and you get your feel of it. The lady behind us grew apples, green and red, and she grew berries, raspberries, blackberries, all that stuff. We used to eat that. The lady on the other end, she grew peaches. I mean, this is like you just walking, you like boom. Just everybody was growing something in that neighborhood that I lived in. And then you could drink water off the side of the house because everybody had a hose on the side of the house. So, the water was cleaner then. It might have had something to it. I don't know. We drank the water, but that's what we did all day long. Then we come in and your mom might have fixed a meal. And back then people cooked from scratch. So, and I was as healthy as could be. I ate all day long because I was always in somebody's yard picking whatever fruit they grew all day long. But then when we moved in the city, everything went to process. And the process of food didn't really start until kind of like the late 70s. And this is a fun fact too. Back in the 1900s, we talking before the 20th century. I mean, not 1900, the 1800s. In the 19th century, chemists they already knew the dangers of sugar. Let me just say that again. Back in 18 whatever, closest to 1900s, even probably around the Civil War times, they knew the dangers of sugar. They tested it in lab rats. I mean, I will even go back further than that. But just for this purposes, we'll say let's say Civil War time frame, 1865, when the Civil War ended to, the 1900s. They knew. They knew the dangers of sugar. And they made a concerted effort that they, see the dangers and we're not going to do human beings like this. And that was always the case. Always the case. But then, back then, most people grew their own food, went out and got their own food. It's not like how it is now. Everything come out the supermarket, right? So over time, it was always a case of how you preserve your food. Well, we figured that shit out a long time ago before America was America. I mean, the Indians knew this shit. Everybody knew this shit. Salt, people, is a life sustainer as well. You need salt in your diet like you need water. I know that sounds crazy, but you do. If you look at all the major cities, there are salt deposits, big salt deposits. Like I can tell you, New York is a big salt deposit. Hence, why you think New York got populated like it did? Most cities or towns in the British or in England that ends with which, they are salt deposits. When you think of all the major cities that are big cities to this day, or famous big cities, notable cities, they were all salt deposits. Salt is a preservative. It just is. You can pack your shit in salt and you can preserve it just a little bit longer. But most foods that you eat are not perishable, and they should be. They should be. They should be living things, but they should be perishable. Meaning, you can't take an apple in your backyard and bury it and think that you can come back 10 years and that apple will still be there. You might have an apple tree. That shit won't happen. But you can take some candy. You can take a whole lot of shit you can buy at the superstore. at the grocery store and bury it in your backyard and come back later and it'll be there. That should tell you right there. If you're living in the inside, if everything about you is a living, breathing organism, then how would you put fake shit in it and think that it's going to be beneficial? It just doesn't work like that. Just doesn't work like that. But I understand how people don't connect that dot. As simple as that sound, a lot of people don't connect that dot. I didn't. So I know it's common not to do it. We have to change our mental and how we view fuel for our body and food for our body. The fuel that we need to push this perfect engine called a human body comes in the form of food. The food coming out of the ground, off of a tree. That's all you need to survive. I mean, absolutely, that's all you need. And it's so many different foods that come out the ground and off a tree that you could be really creative in some of the meals that you make. There, and I'm gonna tell you, when you eat like that, you can't do it both at the same time. You can't say I'm gonna eat everything out the ground and eat a Western diet and be looking for total benefits. You will get, you know what you'll do? You'll slow your aging process down. You'll slow any of the ailments that was gonna come from you eating terrible down. But if you want to see a big result, either way, if you want to see a bad result, eat the Western diet food. You want to see a big result in a good way, eat the nutritional way. Not only would you get a natural high, you will have a lot of energy. You will cut weight like nobody business. You will be built as hell. For us who are boxing fans, that's going to fix your stomach problems. When you be stomachy and shit, your mental going to be on point. You will see better. You will hear better. You will taste better. Because I can tell you, eating the I hate watermelons. Like just regular, I'll be like, I don't like watermelons. My whole family eats watermelons. I'll be sitting up there like, I gotta find something for me. I don't like watermelons. They be like, it's so sweet. This is my mom. It's so sweet. Where? I don't taste it. But when I eat nothing but nutritional food, they ain't lying. I don't know if my taste bud be dead. I'm willing to say at this point that eating Western food deadens my taste bud. Because when I eat nothing but nutritional food, watermelon do taste sweet, and I mean awfully sweet. But I can't never taste it when I'm eating Western food. You'll say, Miss T, well, what is good food out the ground? Um, but we if we eat spinach or we eat kale, how we gonna fill up? Beans, rice, potatoes. Potatoes, white potatoes, are the multivitamins that you go buy in the store. All you gotta do is eat a potato. Um, the Indians taught how do I say it? The pilgrims or the settlers, or I don't know, the white folks that came from Europe. The Indians taught them when they came over here the importance of potatoes. It helps with sedentary. I think I'm saying that right. Sedentary. I can't never say that word right. But like in my mind, dementia. Potatoes help you, with a lot of shit because it's a vitamin. It helps you rebuild nerves, myelin sheets. Y'all don't have to know all this stuff, and I don't even want to go down that road. Just it helps rebuild and reboot your system. Let me just leave it at that. A white potato, just as important as any other kind of potato. Sweet potato, does everything probably the white potato does, but we know that the sweet potato is like a broom. Talk about fiber. Because we know fiber is not digestible anything. Fiber is like a broom in your system. It cleans out the sludge, the plaque build up in your veins, and mucus build up where it shouldn't be. that shit is in your colon too. And fiber cleans all that shit out. It's like a ultimate broom. Water does too. That's why it's important to drink the water. So we have to change our mentality on what we think of food and how we eat it and this, that, and the other. And if we don't, we'll derail ourselves. Now, all this time, I say y'all could call in 706-804-4449. That's 706-804-4449. If y'all have any testimonies, I know some of y'all out there got testimonies. And I encourage y'all to, speak up and everything, or send it to me in email. But as y'all see, I haven't told your story. I haven't told your story, and I won't. That's your story to tell. So, y'all just see how y'all, whatever you learned this week. For me, it's definitely cheese. Cheese that can never ever come back. Can't come back from it. Could I eat it every blue moon? Like, let's say I ate cheese once a year. Is it gonna kill me? No. I'm actually allergic to tomatoes. Don't know why, and I love them. I eat them when I want to sometimes, because I put them sometimes in the salad. But and when I used to go to places like Jersey Mike's or Subway or whatever, I would definitely get tomatoes on the sandwich. But I'm allergic to them, and I don't know. They're very acidic and bitter. It's like tasting, but I like them for whatever reason. It don't like me. So would I never ever eat a tomato? No, I'm not saying to anybody out there, don't ever get to a point where you just straight up deny yourself like totally everything. I mean, for years I couldn't eat seafood, so it was easy for me not to be a seafood person. Over the last couple of years, I've learned that I can eat crab legs. I love them. I was missing out because I love them now. Shit, I was straight missing out. But back in the day, it didn't love me. I lived a life always seeming like I got sick when I ate and didn't know why. I thought it was everybody was being affected like that, but maybe mine was a little rough, but also I'm just crying about it. I'm being a bitch, And so I just kept my mouth shut, even when I was young, in them streets, all up in the club, I'm hanging with my girls. They eating before they go to the club. They drinking while they at the club, or they eat after. I can't do nothing until I get home. And of course, when I'm home, we're not at that restaurant. We're not at the club. I can't get that drink. And I didn't never get to enjoy myself in that way, because if I did it, I would have the bubble guts. If we far away, because girl code, when y'all leave together, y'all come home together. And I didn't want to ruin nobody's night because I'm sick. When I know if I eat this, I'm going to get the bubble guts and be sick. So I would just sit there, stomach be growling and shit. And I just couldn't never eat. Demetri said no more lasagna, pizza, calzones. Nope. If y'all know, like I said, when you know better, you do better. I know cheese don't like me. Because when I was tasting my daughter's food on Thanksgiving, I tasted everything. I tasted her turkey. Her turkey was pretty good. But she seen me make it all the time, so she made it just like me. She made yams, stuffing, mac and cheese, greens. She didn't have rolls, which it was Thanksgiving, and I knew I was gonna try her shit. I was hoping it would be a roll or two up on that table. She didn't make it. I'm telling y'all, when I cut out bread years ago, I cut it out so bad she don't even miss it. She don't miss it. I was the bread junkie, but I stopped buying it, and she don't even miss it. So, I was sitting there, and I tasted, like I told you, I tasted the food, and I tasted the mac and cheese. I got a fork for it. Tasted all the stuff, And then I sat up after I tasted all of it, and my chest was hurting. Instantly. I'm not even faking the funk. Instantly, my chest was hurting. It felt heavy. Then my stomach started bubbling. Then when I was trying to get up the stairs, I was like, whew, I got a little dizzy. Not dizzy enough to like make me faint or nothing, but just, it was like, just dizzy, just a little bit. And I was like, God damn, I don't feel good. Like, I felt so tired and weak. And I was like, I'm going to go lay down. And that's all I'm going to do. Just go lay down. And I get upstairs, and I did. And by later that day, because y'all know from having autoimmune disorders and having a thyroid problem, I have a bad heart, right? So later when I woke up, I guess I took like a 2-hour nap or something. When I woke up, I was like, I'm not touching that shit again. But that's what I mean by y'all got to pay attention to what you're doing and what happens after you do it. I connect the dots now. And even though I got a bad heart and I know it, it's not always a heart thing when I be feeling this way. It's the food I ate. The food telling me, bitch, I done told you. I done told you I don't like this stuff. And you keep pouring it down my mouth. I done told you. Sorry. I tell y'all. And that is the grass. It tickles my throat. I'm sitting by a window and hold on. I gotta put it on mute. I'll stop the camera for a second. Somebody cutting the grass, and I think the neighbor next door. And I know we almost in December, but it's warm enough here where we still cut the grass. I can put on shorts if I wanted to. To a certain extent, I ain't crazy. I was raised right. But yeah, that feeling, you should not feel bad after you eat. You should feel energetic and all that. You should also have to go to the bathroom 30, 45 minutes after you eat. And I'm talking about having a bowel movement. Some people don't have that problem. Now, me, that's another area where I excelled. I don't need to take nothing or eat nothing that's going to regulate me, because when I tell you 5 to 6 times a day, honestly, I can eat 3 times a day and still go 5.5 to 6 times a day. Honestly, always been like that from day one. My mom would tell me, yeah, you always been regulated like that. And so, I wake up in the morning, gotta go. I don't leave my house. And I would consider it an act of war for anybody to bother me, to try to get me to get straight up out of the bed and try to go outside and try to do anything, Like when my daughter would miss the school bus and I got to get right up and then take her to school, I'd be mad and be yelling at her the whole way there, because I'm like, why you missed the bus? Why because I can't leave the house until I handle that. And then probably again before 10 or 11. And mind you, I don't even eat in the morning. I just never was a morning eater. Not saying I can't. I just, regular routine, I don't normally eat in the morning. So another time I go, it's like 10:30, 11, close to 12. And then, of course, around 12 or 1 o'clock, I eat something. And then, of course, right after I eat, I got to go. Round the clock, Shawty, round the clock. When I say 6 times a day, that means in the middle of the night, too. Every day. I don't know what the fuck got in me. I don't know why that is, but I excel in that area. I know people who don't even do it once a month, and that's bad, and that's terrible. You're going to pay for that because, the average person who's in their, let's say, mid 40s is walking around with at least, I don't care if you look thin or I don't care if you're 600 pounds, I don't care if you're in between, all that. The average mid 40 person is walking around with at least 30 pounds of poop. That if they pooped it all out, 30 pounds will be gone. The average person is in their mid 40s. I ain't say the average person in their mid 20s because you're younger. You ain't been here that long. Or the teenager, you ain't been here that long. But when you get up to 45 or something, you've been here long enough that you probably carrying a lot of poop. Why I know you're carrying a lot of poop? Because you eat this Western diet. So, in the end of the day, y'all, we talked about on this program the thyroid gland, what it does, what it means. We talked about the liver, what it does, what it means. And we talked about the pancreas, what it does and what it means. We talked about malnutrition. And now today we talked about sugar and what it does and what it means. And we put the emphasis on the fact that you got to change your mental game. Your mental has to change or, it's all in vain. No, no bullshit. Demetria said, what do you think of gallbladder removal if you have sludge? You can fix, listen, this is real talk, y'all. Any problem you can fix with food. But why I will always tell y'all to caution yourself and not look at stuff as an absolute, because sometimes the damage can be so severe it's no repairing. Like my heart damage, what happened was they removed my thyroid gland. I can only tell y'all what I experienced. And I've talked to other people who had stuff removed, just like me, or just had other things removed. When you remove a body part, you throw your body off balance, right? So therefore, removing my thyroid gland completely and then killing the rest with radiation, you threw my body off balance. And it's a lot of regulating going on when it comes to the thyroid gland. So it overworked my heart because it wind up over, your thyroid gland and your adrenals work together. So I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna tie it into your question, Demetrius. But it overworked my heart, and I started having high blood pressure. Therefore, 1 + 1 is 2. You know what I'm saying? High blood pressure, you damage your heart. My heart is damaged. Period. That's what happened. I didn't come into the military with no damaged heart. Damaged hearts don't run in our family. I got one now, and what I learned is you damage a certain part of your body is damaged. There's no bringing it back from the damage. But what you want to do, because the heart is broken down in 4 sections, and one section is damaged, my left ventricle, I don't want the right left ventricle to be damaged. I damn sure don't want the top, right, and left atriums or the valves in the coronary. I don't want none of that to be damaged. So what can I do to make sure that they don't be damaged? Because, with this problem I have right now, a heart attack is in my future. A stroke is in my future. But if I contain it and keep it right here at this level, I probably could skip past all that and live to a long, healthy life. You know what I'm saying? So that's the goal, right? He asked about the gallbladder. Well, the gallbladder is a filtering system. You wouldn't have had it if you didn't need it. You do need it. It was given to you for a reason. But most body parts, even though we evolved over the years, haven't evolved to the part that we don't need it. Now, I could think of 2 things that people have in their body off the top of my head that we have evolved where we really don't need it. Like the extra skin that men have on their, on their little monster. You don't really need it. But the way we was designed, you did need it. Because back then, we wasn't wearing clothes. Now, picture yourself running through the forest, frolicking all over the place with the little, the head exposed, for lack of a better word. You got the skin, which is like your skin on your hand and your legs and all that. The skin is the biggest organ your body has, and it's a protector. So why not protect that area too? I think that's what God saw it as. You know, you don't want to get caught on the twig and shit without, with that head exposed. I'm trying to think of a better way to say it, but apparently there's no better way in my mind. But you don't want to get caught up running through the woods and get caught on the twig or whatever, foreskin. Okay, foreskin. But the skin under the foreskin, you don't want that exposed. While you frolicking in the woods and shit, or while you bending down picking up some shit or whatever. So hence, that's how all y'all come into the world, right? But you don't need it. Not nowadays, you don't need it. But that was the protection of it all. Another organ, your appendix. You don't need it. But it's attached, it goes along with your digestive tract or your colon or whatever, however y'all want to say, whichever one is attached to. But you did need it back in those days, maybe dinosaur days, maybe before dinosaur days. Y'all do realize we've been here millions of years, not thousands, but we counted from Jesus up. Just saying. But when you had an appendix, you was eating a lot of roughage. How that shit gonna break down? You go out there and eat something off a regular tree. You eat some bark. Like, for real talk, look at how gorillas eat. And that's my favorite animal. Oh my God. The little baby gorilla. Look, don't get me to start. They such goobers. Oh my God. But look at how they eat. Look at the shit that they eat. They eat nothing but nutritional plant-based type food. They eat tree bark. They eat a lot of stuff. We at one time could do all that stuff. And that is what the appendix was for. But you don't need it now. We don't eat like that. And so it's kind of like in your body, but it's kind of like not attached like it used to, but it's still in your body. Every one of us come to this earth with an appendix. And so when it bursts, or, imagine needing an appendix, because that's how we ate. And you know how people have their appendix burst on them and shit? Well, that shit could kill you. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if you couldn't fix that or whatever, or they had to take it. And then what that person gonna do if they were used to eating whatever they was eating back then? We don't eat that kind of roughage no more. So therefore, we don't need an appendix. Every one of us could live a long life without it. However, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, that ain't the same for the foreskin. Don't the A. Let me tell y'all, if y'all love y'all sons, don't do it to them. Because that's gonna be some misdirected anger for your ass right there. Don't do it to her. I know a lot of people out there nowadays be like, well, I don't think my son should get it. Don't do it. Please don't. They're gonna wind up doing it anyway. And at the worst time. The best time to do it is when they babies. Women hold that shit against y'all. Just a little hint. Y'all ain't gotta believe me, but we do. Don't do it. Now, can a woman get over it and love the guy? If she love the guy, she can love the guy. But 9 times out of 10, no, we hold that shit against y'all. So don't be one of them men that think you doing something profound by not getting your son circumcised. The hell with that. But do make sure that the right person know what they're doing when they do it, because mistakes have been known to happen. So that's all I can say on that subject. But so to answer to like what you were saying with the gallbladder, I can't remember the things that has to change in your diet when you have a gallbladder removed. But remember what we talked about when we talked about the liver. The gallbladder is a filtering system. So it's the spleen, believe it or not. So is the liver. So when you're talking about filtering systems, I can tell you for the liver has 2 primary jobs to me, but the liver is going to prioritize their job. And their first job is filter. So when you eat food and your food is broken down, the first thing your body is going to take out of the food is sugar. That's why I tell y'all sugar is important. It's going to take the sugar out your body, and then it's going to try to use all the other shit, nutrients that they can find in whatever you ate. But if you eat something and it's not sugar anyway, but it's bad sugar that's stored up in your shit. Now it gets down to your filter system, and your body can either spend a couple of hours filtering some food, like when they talk about nutritional food, it'll take a couple of hours to filter, boom, boom, boom. Then it can spend all day long metabolizing, because that's the other primary job it does. But the liver will never metabolize first. They will always filter. Same thing with the gallbladder, Demetrius, and the spleen and all that. All of those little organs do a little bit of both, of filtering and metabolizing, because metabolism is like ran through your body, but then it's also individually ran through in cells. You guys get a lot of metabolism, more than you think. And to the person without it, like me, I don't make metabolism. I don't have metabolism. Try this notion of cutting calories and going to the gym and see how much you don't lose. It doesn't work. So the best way to keep you balanced and everything, keep your body in a neutral pH zone, because that's important too. You want to always do that, is to don't make your gallbladder, your spleen, and your liver filter all day. Don't make it do it all day. How do you do that, Miss T? Just eat nutritional food. You eat nutritional food, it's like filtering. Plant-based, Demetrius said, what do I think about plant-based protein? Like I said, in spinach. You know how much protein is in spinach? A lot. There's a lot of protein in kale. Kale is probably one of the best vegetables that you want to put into your routine on a daily basis. It is the nastiest, though. It is that. It ain't fun to eat. It ain't sexy. But that's why I juice. And I will cut my kale with pineapple. Because it's not that I can't eat the kale. It's just nasty going down. I don't know. The taste is bitter. I don't like bitter shit. So I have a problem with kale. But if kale wasn't bitter like spinach, I have no problem with spinach. And I'm Fanny Dooley. Like I could like something in one state and then in another state hate it. So for instance, beets. I fucking hate beets. And I would consider that an act of war if you try to feed it to me. Like, serious up, we gonna knuckle up. Because you should know better. But beets, when you juice it, is delicious. And this is me now, later in life saying this. My mom would try to give me beets. I'd be wanting to strangle her. I like, get that shit out of my face. But of course, you can't say that to your mom. But that's how I felt. Get that shit out of my face. I'm not eating that. I don't care what you say. You can peel the skin off me, slap me into another family. I'm not eating that shit. Only to get this old and buy it in its natural state. It's an ugly ass fruit, let me tell you. But buy it in its natural state. And how you know you got a good beet? You don't want a squishy. You want a hard form beet. You peel the skin off it. And me, I throw it right in the juicer. And it's so damn sweet. Do you know how much sugar in beets? Natural sugar, though. Natural sugar. It'll sweeten anything I'm making. So that kale and that spinach, the bitterness be going away just by putting another vegetable in the mix. But to sit there and eat it, hell no. It's the nasty shit I ever tasted. So plant-based protein, I don't know if you meant how they have sausages and all that stuff. I don't have a problem with it. Like beans, you can make pancakes out of bananas. You can do that. You can make meat substitute kind of out of beans and mushrooms. I don't do mushrooms. Now that I don't do. But I mean, you can do all this stuff. So people get real creative. I know that the more I eat nutritional food, I call it nutritional food Some people can call it plant-based. It's the same thing. If it come out the ground, then it's good. Some people ask, somebody did ask this, how do you tell what are good carbs and what is not good carbs? Like I said, you gotta avoid the sugar, y'all. You want to do this now before they make you do it, because you get to a point in your life where they make you do it, you ain't gonna have no quality of life. At least now you could do it the majority of the time. Any one of us can eventually just have a schedule where we Monday through Friday we eat right, and then the weekends we fuck off. Any one of us can have that. You ain't missing nothing. You're having fun. You could be at social events because social shit go down on the weekends anyway. Ain't nobody planning, so not no grown ass people planning nothing during the week. So that's what if we got to train our mind and start thinking that way, eventually. But again, to start off with the cleaning of your body, that's what I specialize in. I specialize in that, and I do make recipes, and believe it or not, the things that I come up with and how I cater it to you specifically, that's why I charge a fee. It's not that expensive, but I charge a fee. So anybody out there who's interested, y'all can email me at boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. I have boxers cut weight. I have people like boxers. When I be telling y'all that some boxers are stomachy, I know why. And I come up with recipes and they're not stomachy no more. It's what I've done in my quest to help myself to find the health in me, as I unlocked a lot of good nuggets that I just didn't know before. And when you know better, that's kind of reason why I always say that when you know better, you do better. Because me not knowing better, I wasn't making great decisions. I was killing myself trying to be what they needed me to be. And y'all remember, I'm retired military. I had to stay in shape, killing myself, working out 7 hours a day. Nobody else is doing that shit, and I'm not even losing an ounce. But genetically, my genetic disposition helped me to finish what I started, like retire, because genetically prevented me from being like 500-600 pounds. I know people who got my problem and have that problem. A person who got my problem that y'all might all know, and she don't seem like she suffered it at all. Sofia Vergara, the actress. She got the same shit I got. Same goddamn shit. Same way it happened to me, it happened to her. And she always maintained a slender fit. Her skin was messed up. I mean, she might not got other things that I have, but she makes what I'm saying like an outlier. Like she's an outlier from what I'm saying. Like and so you can have that, but there's more people that it affected worse than what it affected me. There's more people. I know people, shit. I used to be in these groups, y'all, because we needed to talk amongst each other so we can learn some stuff or try to understand, because the shit was debilitating mentally and depressing. Because here you are, you're a person like everybody else. You're young or you're old or whatever, and you can't control your body. Do y'all know what kind of mental anguish you would go through if you wake up one day and you couldn't control your own body? It's enough to almost make you go crazy. Seriously. And that's what I felt that was happening. I felt like I was going crazy because I'm over here walking 10 miles. I'm doing it every motherfucking day. And I'm barely losing a half a pound a week. Really? And then my friends come and join me, and we all just make a girl day out of it. And within weeks, they done lost everything they wanted to lose that quick. Good conversation and just girl day out. But me, no, I can't have that. So, for me, I did take it personal, and I had a chip on my shoulder, and I was in quest of learning why in the fuck am I different? Like, I can't be different. They keep saying that you're not that different. You just got to do a little bit more than the average person, or you got to eat a little bit less than the average person. But they was never telling me in a way that I understood. I had to learn this shit for myself. And then learning for myself, I just learned a lot more, than I intended to. And then being on this journey also, I learned that food is medicine. Not only is this, it brings nutritional value and fuel for your body, but it's medicine. Your body is resilient on a higher level when you give it the medicine it needs to be resilient. Some of y'all probably didn't even catch COVID because you were so healthy. You was eating right all along. You eat right. If you eat nutritionally, you can beat anything that man throws at you. That should make a lot of people who don't want to vaccinate a lot happier. But that's the trade-off. That is actual factual. So, in the end of the day, we talked about a lot, and I think I answered most of y'all questions. And I want y'all to continue with your journey going into this week. We stopping at, we didn't, I think all of us at least got a week on the books of slow walking. Remember, 100 ounces of water per day. Sorry. Can't stand this grass. 100 ounces of water a day. No dairy. Get the fuck off of dairy. If y'all don't listen to nothing else I say, get the hell off of dairy. If you over 8 years old, there's no reason why you should be eating dairy. None. I told y'all what the eggs were. They the chicken's period egg that didn't get fertilized. So it was never a chicken. It's an unfertilized damn egg. And the chicken came on her period and released the fucking egg. That's what you eating. Imagine eating out unfertilized eggs. Would you do it? That's what eggs is. But it's good as a motherfucker, ain't it? I be like, I'm in deep Shaquille. I love motherfucking eggs. I do. But that's what it is. You don't eat no cheese. Like a lot of black people, especially, and I'm talking to everybody, not just blacks, but a lot of black people got a problem with goddamn cheese. Get off the motherfucking cheese. Set that shit aside. Don't fuck with it no more. Let it go. You don't need it. If you're going to eat meat, they always say the best meat to eat is a fowl, meaning a bird of some type. If your bird of choice is duck, condor, motherfucking eagle, I hope not. Just playing. Whatever your bird of choice, hawk, pigeon, crow, I don't know. I'ma say chicken. That's a safe bet. The chicken is a filthy ass animal. It's one of the most filthy animals. But birds, period. You don't walk up on no birds in the wild. That means all the pigeons and all that. You don't want to touch them. You don't want to touch the ducks. They the most filthiest out there right now. They always have been. Stay the fuck around birds. Like touching them. Buy them in the store. Well, we know they was processed and clean. Okay, cool. You don't have to add a whole lot to meat, but you know that they put hormones and shit in chicken, and y'all be thinking that it ain't gonna do nothing to y'all if they put something in the chicken and make it bigger than what it would have normally been. When you eat it, that's what it's gonna do to you. Because both of y'all are living things, so it's gonna do the same thing to you. But they don't put that on the label, do they? They don't tell you that. They don't tell you that, boo boo. But if you're gonna eat a meat, eat a fowl. Your choice. You can eat a turkey. Turkey legs. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I don't eat turkey all the time. But I mean, I love it. If somebody know how to cook it right. I eat turkey once a year. And then tuna fish. Oh, and I'm going to add one to it. I'm going to give y'all another one, crab legs. If y'all want to eat some shrimp, you go be my guest. But that's the roaches of the sea. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. They do be tasting iron. I've eaten them, but I can't. I can't on the regular. I can't never develop a habit of eating shrimps. um, but shrimps and crab legs. If y'all want to add that to your seafood plate, for our slow walkers, y'all can do that. Bread is out. Bread is out. It's fucking out. Don't bring no bread back up in the equation. It's done. You done with it. Bread is done. I know it's good. I know you think you can't live without it, but you actually can. Get the bread out. Miss T, grain comes out the ground. After they hybridize that shit and do what they do, it's not longer nutritional. Let's just say it like that. Well, Miss T, can we cook the greens and all that? Yes, you can. And you can put the fat back in it. But I'm just saying, like the fat back that you put in your greens to make it give it taste, I don't care about all that. But just know that you really going to slow your results down. That's just as long as you cool with that. Remember, mentally, as long as you cool with that, hey, you hardly get any nutritional value when you cook vegetables, just so you know. You get all the nutritional value when you eat it raw. So between raw and cooked, somebody gonna say steam. The steam is better than cooked, but steam is not better than raw. So just look at it like that. Just look at it like that. The more raw it is, the better it is for you. The other thing we're gonna change this week going forward, and I'll talk about it every day Monday when we start our show. When we say water check. And we're going to say, well, we don't eat, we don't do this, we don't do that. The other thing I'm taking out is y'all got to learn the difference between complex carbs and simple carbs. And that might save a lot of y'all lives out there. Simple carbs is probably where you find the most fugazi ass sugar. Point blank. It's where you're going to, that and dairy is the two worst things introduced in the Western diet known to man. It doesn't like us. It doesn't like you. Even though you think it do, it doesn't. Some of y'all will find out quicker than others, but it don't like you. Mac and cheese, bullshit. If it don't specifically come out the ground, then you don't need that carb. But if you want to eat it, that's you. But if you don't come out the ground, so let me give you an example. Rice can come out the ground looking like rice. Spaghetti can come out the ground because it's made from grains, right? But when grain come out the ground, it don't look like spaghetti. You see the difference? Beans can come out the ground or how they grow. I don't really know how beans grow. But it can come out looking like a bean. Right? But some kind of box mashed potatoes and all that, you don't know what that look like. Like, how did they come to that? You know, or pancake mix, how did they come to that? You know, if it come out of the ground, those are complex carbs. Complex carbs. And they could be fruits, vegetables. Those are all carbs because they sugar based. All of that shit is sugar based, especially fruit. Y'all know that fruits are sugar based, but it's the sugar that you want. If they had to mix some shit and put it together and make it in this shape and do all this extracurricular, that's a simple carb. So y'all, I'm not gonna tell y'all more than that, but just start practicing getting into that. But right now, for real, all of y'all who've done this journey thus far with the slow walking, y'all ready for the hardcore. Hit me up in the email, boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. Hit me up in the email. Tell me what you want to do. I will make recipes specific to you. And we can start you on your journey. Do understand, you might come at me because you want to lose weight, but I will come back at you like, we're going to find the health in you. Because all I got to do is get you healthy. Weight is not gonna be a problem. It's a byproduct. It's just gonna peel off you like nobody business. You ain't even gonna be able to stop it. You're gonna be like, whoa. And if like you'll lose a lot of weight until you get close to your homeostasis weight, which is everybody has that. Everybody has a set weight. That's when you'll see the weight coming off a little slow, like barely coming off. But up until that point, I mean, y'all don't believe me? Try me. What you got to lose? I can damn near 99.9% guarantee within the first week, at a minimum, you'll lose 15 pounds. At a minimum. At a max, about 24 pounds in 1 week, that first week. But if somebody come back and say, oh, Miss T, I didn't lose that much, you didn't do it all the way, because I know you would have. Do understand that when we talk about sugar today, and understand this, sugar is in everything. The reason why sugar is in a lot of processed food, and this is why I say I don't beat the food companies up for why they doing what they doing, it's almost like they have to. In order for it to come from their factory, take the journey with the truck driver and drop off at a grocery store and then placed on the shelves and be there long enough to get bought by all of us, they have to be able to preserve this food. So the preservatives alone has so many types of sugar you don't even know. You don't even know the name. But yet you're going to go on a diet and you're going to count calories about some sugar you're not even aware of. Now, how you count calories for that? Because you don't even know about that sugar. You don't even know it's in the food. That's why people are either gaining a lot of weight and can't lose weight because of that sugar. And sugar is a drug, and it's an addictive drug. It's the biggest addiction we have in America today. Bigger than heroin, bigger than any drug, bigger than pills, is sugar. So that's all I'm going to say to y'all today. Like I said, I hope I answered most of the emails that you guys sent out to me. I did open the phone lines for some testimony. Some of y'all said a couple of things like when y'all try to eat something for Thanksgiving, which I knew people was gonna eat anyway. That y'all got the bubble guts. I'm telling you, that's my testimony. In my vein of showing my daughter a solid for her doing her first whole Thanksgiving dinner by herself. I tasted her food, and shit, I had the bubble guts. I don't even remember what I ate Friday. I don't think I ate Friday because I had the bubble guts real bad. And I couldn't stop. I could not stop. I couldn't stay out the bathroom. The food didn't like me. The food tasted good. The food was good. It was fulfilling. I tasted every little piece of it. I tasted a little bit more of the candy and I couldn't help myself. That's a weakness. And we only eat candy yams in my family like once a year. Though, because we know it's bad. We know it's bad. But instantly, chest was hurting instantly, out of breath instantly, had a puff on my asthma pump instantly. And for another nugget, if you got a skin disorder, you have asthma, whether you had an asthma attack or not. My first asthma attack, I was 44 years old. Never had one a day in my life before that I knew about. Was wheezing, but I didn't know what wheezing was about. And they used to tell me, back in the day, you got asthma. Like, no, I don't. I don't need no pump. I'm running like a motherfucker. I'm physical as hell. No, I don't. Had my first one at 44. And I will tell you, being that I've had both now, the heart attack and the asthma and the heart attack. So be clear, it wasn't my time. They was giving me the wrong medicine that made me have a heart attack. I'm okay. So suffice to say, I shouldn't have them no more. But a heart attack and an asthma attack feel the same. Just so y'all know, I've had them both. So just so y'all know how that feels, they feel the same. Like a bad asthma attack, that's how a heart attack feel. So hey, when you know better, you do better. Thank y'all for joining me. And I'll see y'all next Sunday. We're going to continue the show. We're going to keep on reiterating certain things. We was talking about my pyramid, which is exercise 10%, 30% what you eat, and 60% mental. And, don't get caught up in carrying your weight or your illnesses like a badge of honor or like a security blanket. Let it go. Get prepared mentally to let it go. How you get prepared mentally is to understand something that you didn't understand. So now that y'all know that sugar is made to be addictive the way man makes it, and they put it in everything and they don't tell you. And this is probably why you're overweight and have illnesses. And this is probably why you can't lose weight too, and you maintain your illnesses. Because real sugar that come in real food can never hurt you. Now that y'all know that, how do y'all think about it? How y'all gonna go forward and look at stuff? That's preparing. That's what I mean by preparing yourself mentally to handle what you're trying to do. Instead of just going at it blind and not preparing yourself mentally, then you get to the achievement level and then you derail your process because it was a security blanket. It was all you knew. Well, you knew wrong. And I always say it's more than one way to skin a cat. I'm just telling y'all my way. But thank y'all for joining me. And I'll see y'all next week. Remember, when you know better, you do better. Peace.